So, in light of recent job losses, basically, Government of Canada has implied tariffs on GM and Stellantis on imported vehicle. Basically, what they've done is reduce the amount of tariff-free vehicles those two companies can import from the US into Canada. So, Stellantis, their reduction is 50%. So 50% reduction on their tariff-free numbers and 24.2% for General Motors. Essentially, not for closing down plants, but basically shutting down production. And for Stellantis' case, they blatantly said, we're moving everything back to the US. Now, I made a video roughly about it. You can go check it out. It's a little bit long form and how can Canada move on from this and what my theory would be. Definitely go check that out. But my question is, in light of this news, I have dug in as much as I possibly can, and nowhere does it state where the numbers originally were of tariff-free vehicles that Stellantis and GM can import from the United States. So for me to tell you, okay, so they reduced Stellantis' numbers by 50%, therefore they now have this many vehicles that they can possibly import tariff-free, same thing for GM. But we don't know, and the government has not disclosed those numbers at all. So it's not that just I didn't do my research, it's they're not there. And my question here, as a Canadian citizen here, is, are those tariff markers as unattainable as, for example, U.S. dairy? For example, the Trump administration has clearly mentioned so many times that, oh, there's tariffs on dairy, but that's at a certain cap that enters, and the Canadian imports have never ever come close to that cap. So tariffs have never applied. So I kind of want the government to disclose those numbers, because Stellantis, for example, imported 130,000 vehicles last year. But if the original numbers of, hey, you have up to, let's say, 300,000 vehicles you can import tariff-free, and now the government is reducing that by 50%, that still lets them import as many vehicles as they did in the previous year, so not much of a penalty. I really want the government to disclose that, because I want to know that, are we talking half measures here when we're importing? And I think a lot of auto workers would like to know that answer. Are we talking half measures here when we're implementing tariffs on a certain quota, or are we just blowing smoke and pretending to retaliate? Comment below, like, follow, subscribe.